My name is Jesse Rollins.
Eli Dotson.
Will Parker.
And I am a friend of Smokey.
I'm Davy Crockett.
This is my first year as a friend of Smokey.
This is my first year, first semester being a friend. I've learned a lot. It's really just brought me closer to the community around Knoxville, around the campus. You don't really understand how popular Smokey is until you're around him 24/7, and you understand and you see that there are people of all shapes and sizes, of all ages, that are completely infatuated with Smokey, that just always want to be around him, want to talk to him, want to get a high five or a hug or a picture. It really just made me realize that the community loves Smokey almost as much as we do.
At football games, it's always interesting and exciting to see how Smokey interacts with the fans, like on the front row. You see a variety of different people there, and so just watching Smokey and watching how he interacts with everybody on game day, and you can tell everyone starts to just light up every time they see Smokey as he's walking around the stadium. So it's always fun to just see that personal interaction.
Me and Smokey interact quite a bit. When we travel, I'm traveling with Smokey to the away games. We don't have too many skits because Smokey kind of has his own thing, but when it comes to games and interacting with Smokey, I'm there a lot. I always make jokes that we're roommates, we live together, but even on the field, we have just certain things that we like to do, whether it's kind of a dance move that correlates together or just always kind of engaging with the crowd, because I'm kind of his Robin, so Smokey shines and he has the spotlight, but then again, when we can both kind of come together and interact with the crowd together, I feel like it's very powerful.
Being the physical representation is something that Smokey lives by and strives to be 24/7. So whether it's Smokey doing a Food City pep rally on a Friday or fourth quarter when we're in a close game on Saturday, Smokey is always trying to be that UT spirit. He's always trying to embody the UT spirit, and that's something that it almost comes naturally for Smokey. Whenever Smokey's out there doing his thing, he realizes that he's representing the community, he's representing the school, he's representing the fan base, and most importantly, he's just representing himself as well, and Smokey has a reputation to uphold. So anytime you see Smokey and he's doing something crazy, that's Smokey being Smokey. It's honestly crazy and really cool to see how Smokey embodies the UT spirit in everything he does. So that's always just the biggest thing for me, is to just watch Smokey and see how he embodies the spirit, and everybody around him knows that that's UT Smokey. Like, that is Smokey that represents the University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
It was a big eye-opening experience for me whenever I stepped from being just a student here to being able to interact with Smokey on a daily basis. Just seeing how much time and effort he puts in and everything that goes into making Smokey who he is, and you just don't get to see the behind-the-scenes side of it that I thought was really interesting. He's a busy guy during game days. He'll go into the locker room and change 6 to 8 times during a game for different skits, trying to portray different parts of the game, interact with other team mascots. So sometimes he'll put on costumes. He'll interact with Smokey Jr. as well, so sometimes they'll have to go change and put on multiple costumes for that. He stays busy with the costume changes.
Davy Crockett's role during games is kind of similar to Smokey, but it's also a little different than Smokey or anyone else on the Spirit team. I don't really have anything that's of that nature set that I have to do, but I would say my main job is just to keep the crowd engaged and also be kind of the image and the face for the Spirit program. Obviously Smokey is the top dog, he's the most important guy, but I think that he plays a role more of the face of the university and the community. I mean, his face is on the buses, but I think I'm kind of like the Robin to his Batman. So my job is kind of just to keep the crowd engaged in a different way, but kind of in the same situation.
Definitely one of the things that stuck out was I was at a soccer game and watching Smokey interact with a little child who at first was terrified and Throughout the course of the game, Smokey would walk up, wave, play peekaboo, just try and interact with him. And throughout the course of the game, the child became very receptive to Smokey, and by the end was giving Smokey hugs, wanting to hang out. Be able to see that progression and go from a child being terrified to a new fan of Smokey was just awesome.
There's especially one little boy who loves Davy Crockett. It's his favorite person in the world. And I was actually at the homecoming float parade, and I witnessed this little boy in a full Davy suit, from the shoes to the shirt to the pants to his own little flag that he was waving. So seeing that kid, it really stuck with me, because I even took a picture, posted it on my social media, and I still have it. It's one of my favorite photos. But just seeing somebody that kind of wanted to dress up and be Davy Crockett, even though he's, like I said, not as big as Smokey or as famous as Smokey, I just thought that was pretty cool, and that's always stuck with me.